I'm going to talk about Joe. This is the system upstairs that I said I would make a video about. That is Joe sitting over there. That is the system I had to build before I could figure out how to build Abe downstairs. This is office slash craft room. But I wanted to talk a little bit about this fellow. Up until the time that I had started on Joe here, I'd built a few computers in the standard black boxes, Antec cases, but I decided I wanted to do something different. I'm going to flip on a work light here again, terrible lighting, future me. But that is a Lian Li PCX 2000 case. Originally it came without the window. I put that in because when I decided I wanted to do something a little different, what I did was I found a case and really fell in love with it. That's a one-piece milled, brushed anodized aluminum. They built this case with as few seams as possible, so that's one solid piece of aluminum there. Same thing on the other side. This is not meant to be a case that is water cooled, but when I decided I wanted to do something different than a standard black box, and I found this tall HTPC, this server case. The original one, the PCX 1000, didn't have the front that removed, nor did it have the side drive bays. The top one's got just a regular disc reader, old school. The two bottom ones are Scythe RPM fan monitors and temp monitors. Convenient. And that is why I cut a hole and put a panel in this. This is an old system, I must tell you. To remind myself, the good stuff is 2 floors down in the basement. Eventually the stuff works its way up here. This is originally the cards that were that was in Abe, the system. These are two 980 Ti EVGA. I put them on water blocks and tweaked them up. They're several generations old, but even with this board, which is an ROG Strix Z370, it's an 8700K. It's only running like at about 4.5, but it handles the heat really well, and it taught me how to build and how to mod cases. Again, terrible lighting, but let me just real quick also show you this wonderful Lian Li release mechanism. One little attached thumb screw pulls out, and the case itself, the panel, lifts off. Isn't that wonderful? Now the mods I made with this was I took a risk and put a reservoir on top of where the PSU goes. At the time I was highly nervous about that for obvious reasons. Also, although I can't really know if this is going to focus with this light, but as messy as that is, there's actually a really good D5 pump up there with some really tight fittings, and yeah, this is just like a basic water system, one of my early water cool systems. Down here I had a lot of drives, but who uses them anymore? So it opens up the door for possible future cooling or just all kind of stuff. Really nice brushed aluminum case. I had to cut the case, which I was scared to death at the time. I'd never done anything like that. So now Joe, named after Coffee Lake, which is the name of the architecture for that processor, Intel processor. Coffee Lake Joe here. On that monitor, which is an HP 30-inch Professional. It's not in 4K or anything like that, but it does push out some nice pixels. And it will run Cyberpunk at numbers in the 60s, bogging to the 50s in bad areas, which is definitely playable. No DLSS, no path tracing, ray tracing, anything like that, not with those cards, but again, very, very doable. And Cyberpunk is, although patched, a demanding game, so I'm pleased with it. It still cranks, stays cool, and is generally a good, solid system still. Or at least my wife and grandkids seem to think so. Okay, that is my video about Joe. And understanding that before I could ever worry about how to build Abe, I had to go through so much with this case. Figure out things that there were no instructions for, and wasn't supposed to be water cooled, but somehow I fit 360 rad in there with fans, and yet the case still closes. So I'm pleased with it all. Gained the confidence to move on to the Abe series. And I'm going to move on now.